Next guest speaker of today's rally is member of the Legislative Council of Southeastern Metro and Victorian Greens spokesperson on Multicultural Affairs. Please welcome with a round warm of applause Ms. Nina Springle from Australian Greens.
Thank you. And I too would like to pay my respects to the Indigenous people of this land, elders of the Kulin Nation, and acknowledge that this land was never ceded. I am immensely honoured to be here to talk to you about this today. It's an issue very close to my heart. When my family stepped off the boat onto these shores after the Second World War from Eastern Europe as displaced persons, they experienced many of the same hardships that immigrants and refugees do today. When my late husband came to Australia in the late 90s from East Africa, he also experienced many of the same hardships in terms of integration that immigrants do today. But the difference was, in that climate, they felt welcome. Even though they had challenges with language, with finances, with employment, with accommodation, there was an overwhelming feeling that they were wanted here, that they contributed to the backbone of our multicultural nation. And let's face it, migrants and multiculturalism is the backbone of our nation, and particularly here in Victoria. Now, what this legislation says to people who are not already citizens is that you are not welcome here unless you live up to some unrealistic expectations set by a bunch of people in Canberra who are largely out of touch with reality. You are not welcome here. And each and every one of us standing here today knows that that is not the truth. We are here because we want our multiculturalism to be strong, and we want to welcome people from other lands who will contribute the way generations of migrants have contributed to this country through their work, through their education, through bringing their culture and their religion and paying taxes, as we all have. The Greens will not support, as the Labor Party, we will not support this legislation. It is racist legislation. My son is of African descent. He is a young man of colour, and he cannot walk down the streets of Dandenong often without being vilified. What does that say to a young man who is struggling with his identity like many migrant families are? We need to stand strong against this legislation, and I urge you to go and speak with your local MPs. Speak with your family, to speak with their friends, their extended family. Reach out to your politicians. That's what they're there for. They are democratically elected, and they are there for you and to be your voice. Reach out to your politicians and let them know that you do not support this legislation. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nina, for standing with us on this injustice.